Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the SSL Challenge. We are 2 series through our 3 series of the night, which means 66% done with the evening.
Yeah, we're almost through.
That.
Impact versus
JJAKJI.
JJAKJI.
It's our last series of the night. It will be happening. JJAKJI is here in the studio, and of course that's good news because just earlier on this week he was in the hospital. You know, a lot of people were worried about him, saw a lot of great tweets headed his way, wishing him a fast recovery. He is recovered, and he is ready to go back again here tonight. I was a little bit worried coming into the studio. I was like, we're going to have games tonight? I don't know, but yeah, he's back. Hopefully he is feeling well and rested. I didn't get a chance to talk to him ahead of time, but I know we've seen players show up just because this is very late, you know, differing stages of readiness. So.
Sue with the mask on still defeats our undefeated player, Bunny. Looks really good doing it.
He did.
Who knows? JJAKJI goes to the hospital, comes back. He's 0-3, doesn't matter. Crushes Impact 3-0.
Cleaning up, yeah. It would be actually really interesting to see JJAKJI pick up a win because, as I think you mentioned earlier, currently JJAKJI has been
a game win or a
match win. Yeah.
Okay.
He already has a game win.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But no, match wins
that.
have eluded him so far. So really going to be up to him to just show that he has what it takes. Now, unfortunately, it does look like he will be forced to requalify for SSL Challenge next season. So I'm not sure what to expect from JJAKJI tonight. I know that with obviously being in a hospital, obviously you cannot practice StarCraft there. So it'll be interesting to see kind of what level of readiness he is at coming into today's games.
You can get magic hospital juices, though.
That is very true.
I know a lot of people do that.
If you guys have never had an IV in your system, oh my God, those make you feel good. Just lots of it's basically just like straight up nutrients right into your bloodstream.
I think I need some of that.
It's pretty good. They actually have like IV bars where you go and they'll just like inject you to make you feel good. I don't know how.
Do you drink at them too?
No, it's just like you just get hooked up, man.
You said IV bars, so.
Well, no, it's like a literal like bar that you sit at, but it's IVs.
Oh, really?
So it's good for you.
Kind of creepy.
I don't know, man. I've just heard about it. People tell me about these things, and I hope they're not trolling me. But no,
you may have spread some misinformation on the broadcast.
I'm just sharing my own.
You might be the first caster to ever do that.
If somebody does something because they hear me say it on broadcast, like, let's just talk about that decision-making process, I don't know, man.
I'm visiting Seoul because I need an IV at the IV bar.
Have you heard about it? It's like, why, yes. Yes, I have. It's like, oh, I'll just go right away. I don't think that's the way it works, or at least it shouldn't. I believe we have somewhere in our legal speak that if something happens just because casters say it on air, we're not liable. Yeah. I hope we do now.
Probably.
Just like I'm going to advocate like some specific strategy. We're going to see like a guy do a, I don't know, like 18 factory all in. I'm like, guys, do this every time. You'll win every game.
Sick because of it, because it's so bad. He's like,
it would be pretty bad, man.
I got a little slight fever now from that one.
Maybe you build it on 18 supply. It's more valuable build. I don't know. But either way, yeah, don't take what we say for granted. We're just here to guide you through some sick games, and they have been pretty good. It's TVZ night, or TVZ day, I guess. We had TVZ in GSL. We're having all TVZs in SSL.
The entire day, plus the next day.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We're
Sunday
rolling it into next day. Yeah. I guess the ASL's games today are not exclusively TVZ, so we don't know what we're going to see there. But at least for the time being, we're going to continue that with one final series. Hopefully. Eventually. We'll get there.
Who knows? Maybe it's canceled.
One step at a time. Yeah,
Nobody knows. We actually have no idea.
I did see the players, though. They are in there ready to go.
I only saw... Oh, no, I saw both of them.
Yeah. I did see both of them, too. I made sure to check because I was like, I don't know what to expect here. But
we won't spoil their style, though, because that's a main point of the SSL Challenge broadcast is the style.
It's true.
Yeah.
Got to make sure to mention that.
Rapids, what are those pants called?
Corduroy.
Corduroy, yeah.
Yeah.
He's got his corduroy pants on.
22-thread corduroy, not 8-thread. Yeah, different kinds. Got to know your corduroy.
What does that mean?
It's the different chords that make up a certain distinction of. It's like basically like how thick it is. It's like, do you want your ramen noodles or your udon noodles? That's the difference.
But like, you have more than 22 lines on your corduroy.
Yeah, but it's not the entire. It's not the entirety of every line
22
everywhere.
milliliter.
You're asking the wrong
meters.
person, Valdez. I just know the numbers.
Oh. So 8 corduroy is that thicker or thinner?
Thicker, because it's less.
With one
per
C
distance.
or two?
Wait, corduroy? It's cords. Like the cords in the
Thicker
thing.
with 1 C or 2. Thicker.
I'm so lost here. Yes. Yes, it is. Yes.
Definitely with 2.
Definitely.
As is the way.
I don't know about this. I feel like we've gotten a little bit far afield. See, the problem is, though, that we can't even really talk. I guess we can't talk about StarCraft, right? Okay, so let's hit some stats as the music.
That's the StarCraft music.
We're cueing the music. We're getting into it. Whoa, that is a sleepy boy. Getting his resonant sleepers going on ahead of the game. He's just biding his time before he explodes in all of his deadly Zerg power. That's what happens.
He's sitting at 1 and 2.
Man, this is what you look like when you're like 0 and 2 in a best of 5.
Yeah.
Games haven't even started yet.
That's what
man.
Bunny looked like after game 4.
Bunny's like the kid I tell to buck up, you know?
Buck up.
Yeah. Now, JJAKJI actually does look pretty good, and saw him walk in today, and I was like, okay, well, all is right with the world. Well, it hasn't been too right with JJAKJI's world. He has definitely struggled to find even a single win this season, and I gotta say, it's looking a little bit doubtful. JJAKJI has, let me just like bust out some interesting stats before we see our
Bust
maps
them out. Get busty for me, Reed.
I want to do. So, JJAKJI has, it's been 6 months since Impact has been able to beat JJAKJI. But as I was like predicting the match scores, Impact has a 70% chance to beat JJAKJI as I was plugging it into a legal act. I was like, wait a second, this is a guy that's never beat him, or that hasn't beat him in 6 months, and all of a sudden he's immensely favored? Well, the reason there is that in that 6 months, JJAKJI's versus Zerg win rate has plummeted. It has gone in the hot, flaming, steamy dumpster. So we really are looking for some signs of life from JJAKJI in his TVZ. Just overall, his games have been a little bit strugglicious lately, so really hoping that we'll have a good series here, because our first 2 series of the day were just like, really strong.
Yeah, all the way to game 5. 2 good players on both sides, Terran and Zerg. And
Very much so.
Same thing here, Impact versus JJAKJI. I'm favoring Impact. What are you thinking?
I would definitely agree with that. I think Impact has just been looking super sick. Ever since I watched him 3-0 Sue the other day, I was like, this guy is on the way up. And, you know, it might not be the best dark horse to root for, but I am certainly looking forward to seeing how he does here tonight.
Yeah, he's not taking the rocket to the moon or anything like that, but he's climbing the ladder. You know, he's taking the elevator, the slow one, goes to every floor, but he'll get there eventually.
And here he is, Impact, our purple Zerg player, playing, of course, for Dead Pixels.
And his opponent sending out SCVs already. This is JJAKJI.
We might just have a short series here tonight. I don't know, Valdez. We've gone so far with limited numbers of cheeses. I think we had a couple of all-ins from Rogue. It was cool Nidus plays. But yeah, these are going to be our first proxy raxes of the night. Got a chance to see Innovation do like the sickest proxies earlier today that made for one of the best games I have ever seen. That was versus Dark and GSL, but now we get to see JJAKJI's version of it, and of course his Overlord will not scout down there. I'll never forget, I was watching, there's this GSL game where Innovation was playing another player on the map Deadwing a couple seasons ago, and they had changed...
A couple of seasons ago, Deadwing?
Yeah.
Was that in the map pool?
Yeah, it was.
A couple of seasons?
Wow, GSL
okay.
map pool. And they had removed the ability for players to spawn on your side of the map horizontally or vertically. And Innovation didn't know that, so he scouted there, and his opponent was building a proxy there. So he scouts the proxy, but not because he was looking for the proxy, but because he thought his opponent could spawn there. So unfortunately, you can't do that on this map, so there's no chance of accidentally scouting that unless you try to build a hatchery there, and unfortunately you can't because of the Jamuri.
Yeah, he sees the bunker anyway. He pulls it back. Out come all the drones.
Pulling the boys, and there they go. They surround the bunker. It will be forced to be canceled, but it's a lot of mining time lost.
Yeah, can throw a bunch of them. Okay, he's going to keep them nearby. He knows this is a rush. Oh, nice block on the bunker.
I definitely thought that SCV was getting surrounded, but really a cool game of cat and mouse, or drone and SCV in this case.
Okay. finally gets it down, but the spine is already on the way. That means 2 bunkers will be made here, but already 4 lings out, 4 more on the way.
Now, the cute way to build those bunkers is as an incomplete wall, so you can put your Marines between them. But he does make it a complete wall. Let's see how good this Marine control is. Not looking great, at least for those first 2 Marines. Still lots of mining time lost, but this is a big committal to go for a massive Marine push.
He's gonna shut this down. It looks like that bunker does live, but the spine is already out. Only 7 lings died.
This is insane. I've never seen
salvage.
That good. These are slow lings. Like, these are not easy to maneuver. And I mean, sure, as the number of Marines does continue to grow, I mean, wow, really, Impact is not letting it grow. Finally grabs the last hit on that Marine and is taking Zergling losses, but great defense.
Yeah, very nicely done. I mean, all those buildings now out on the map for JJAKJI. He's just going to awkwardly build his factory back at home. Impact sees the transition too. He's got his natural up and ready to go. And this will be sufficiently held. Nicely done.
I mean, this is just really the best ZVT defense I've seen on this rush in a while. In the end, it does look pretty good for Impact. He did lose a few drones, lost a lot of mining time, but he will have more workers. I mean, he's just up by 1, but he has 5 more on the way. So really, all the pressure gets taken off of Impact. He holds on, and now he'll maybe even be able to get up a 3rd base. It's just really looking good for our Zerg.
Look at JJAKJI, too, taking precautions to make his natural on the high ground. Impact will be in control of this game because JJAKJI's kind of got his tail between his legs after that rush did fail. So, a bit unfortunate for him. He tried it out. He saw it earlier today. He's like, hey, I could do that.
Yeah.
He's done it before.
Unfortunately, he was a lot less successful there.
Yeah.
This is the way StarCraft physics work. As long as the Overlord is on top of a small, like,
it's a mystery
Acropolis thing there, it will it stays alive. It's too far up on the mountain.
He's got that barracks burning.
And just a couple of seconds more, that will burn down, but of course the other one does survive and has finally made its long and lonely trek across the ascension to Ire.
He will ascend to a different plane of existence after going down. Nice scout there, both the CCs being made at the front door very nicely by JJAKJI. He's like, here, have some free scouting. Yeah, I would have liked to see that back outside, not towards that
yeah, it's maybe a little bit questionable. So on the other side of this, Impact has just about hit his lair timing. He's about halfway through on that upgrade, so is teching up, but man, just look at the massive number of drones that he is building. Impact just knows he won't be seeing Terran units for a cool minute.
Cool minute being about, 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah, way longer than a hot minute.
Yeah, that's true, Definitely. Hot minute is like 42 seconds, and
yeah.
Cold minute is like, maybe 2 minutes and
yeah, also longer than
seconds.
like a square minute, as in like uncool.
Is a square minute like a thing? Or
sure.
You just make that up right now?
Well, I was trying to think of a word for like dumb as the opposite of cool, but then I thought of square instead and decided that...
Is there a triangle minute?
No,
Illuminati?
Valdez. No, they're not. The joke is dead.
Maybe Illuminati made their own minute. Well, we got a Nidus out on the map. Looks like he's not going to stop there. Even with the Viking out, he's like, okay, here comes the aggression.
Yeah, taking a page out of Rogue's book from earlier today. See how effective that is. Of course, the Banshee, okay, I was about to say it was headed across the map. No, it's not. It's kind of taking a little bit of a wait there. Overseer coming over here to give vision for the Nidus. And Banshee's heading back.
Good scan. He sees it. 2 bunkers coming up already in the main. And so it does get canceled at the very last moment.
Wow. That was a really clutch cancel, especially when you scout it with a scan, not like an actual unit or the Banshee flying over there to see it. Now he doesn't know, and so he's going to be really afraid of this Overseer. This is the scariest Overseer he's ever seen, or overseen, as the case may be. On the other side, here comes the Spire now on the way, with the Baneling Nest in production at the same time, and both Banshees for JJAKJI crucially back at home, not harassing Impact.
With all these Nidus shenanigans going off, or going on, I should say, rather. And lots of TVZs we've seen today. I feel like it would be cool if Zergs had a strategy where they would purposely show the Nidus without making it purposeful, and then just transition as Impact did. He made 14 drones after he canceled that. And Impact, or rather JJAKJI, I think he only now salvaged his bunker as he realized this push isn't happening.
Yeah, he salvaged both of them back in the main, so he's like, okay, well, guess I thought that was going to be a lot scarier than it really was. But behind this does allow Impact to do a lot. 2 hatcheries on the way. Really just macroing out of control. This is after a very articulate defense of that early rush. Impact rather is just going to be in an insanely strong position to defend against this. There's no medevacs with this push at all.
Yeah. There are 2 that are joining back from home, but I mean, we already got Baneling speed half done, and 1-1 isn't even finished here for JJAKJI. We'll see what this can do. He is scanning in. He is going to clear up the creep. He doesn't have to commit, especially once he sees everything. He's getting some nice harassment damage in the main.
Oh, wow. Those drones just don't know where to not mine. They will finally get out of there as Liberator's pushed back. But here come the Cloak Banshees on top and the bio on the bottom. We'll see when JJAKJI decides to activate that.
Huh.
Well, there's just no defense there.
Yeah, nothing over here. I mean, there's a Muta, but the Overseer is slow. And he's going to take that opportunity to move in, get some more damage over here at the third.
With only 2 medevacs here, we'll see how much they can pick up and save off the ground. Not everything will fit inside, and that means that JJAKJI's army will be shaved even thinner.
I think both of the Banshees just died too, so kind of unfortunate. The swarm of Impact is really making its way across the map, trying to get on top of those medevacs.
I mean, this is exactly what you said, Valdez. A literal swarm of Zerg that's living up to its name completely. It looks like one of those campaign or cinematic missions where the Zerg just overruns the Terran. No micro against the Banelings after the split. Now even these SCVs will be picked apart as they retreat.
Well, that should do it here as this third is forced to lift. Mutas will finish it off, and JJAKJI once again in the fetal position behind this wall saying, please don't kill me. It looks like Impact will listen for now.
Wow. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
The most anticlimactic GG we've seen tonight. And totally appropriate. Yeah, that is way too much damage. Impact holds on against that early rush and takes him out. Wow, perfect defense. And then a really great follow-up to end the game.
Yeah, I really like that play out of Impact. I love when he plays against players that are weaker than him. He looks like he's in so much control.
Yeah.
It's funny because, you know, you were talking about how he took out Sue.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Especially, you know, in games like that where he can get the early lead, he just, like, crushes these guys.
It was very impressive to watch Impact, not only last week, but the week before that. And in today's game, it was just, once again, looking dominant. And, you know, it's not only that Impact is doing very well, but the JJAKJI's plans kind of always seem to go awry. He gets his early proxy scouted, and that doesn't help him out. Then he loses a bunch of Marines early on and doesn't get value there. And he pulls back and isn't able to harass, and everything just kind of falls apart. So we'll see if JJAKJI can bring it back with maybe a better strategy or an even cheesier cheese here in game number 2. Here we go. Game number 2 of our final series of the night. We're going to fly better fly on to Frost. In the purple, our Zerg player. Playing for Dead Pixels, it's Impact.
And his opponent. In the top left, this is JJAKJI. Playing it normal on Frost. 4-player map. Gas first. Good start.
Indeed. Yeah. No, I'm a big fan. You know what else I enjoy watching are barracks being built in JJAKJI's base instead of across the map. That feels like a safer start to me, especially since Frost is such a big map. Probably wouldn't see that here. But on the other side, it's still just going to be gas pool. I feel like we've seen this from a lot of Zergs tonight, Sue mostly. Just going for this every game. It works really well if you are facing rushes like JJAKJI did in game 1. So we'll keep him safe from that. But With our expansion coming down, I am really interested. What is JJAKJI's style really like? We talked about him having a lot of time off as he has been in the hospital, and really just kind of interested to see what kind of shape he is in, and especially after game 1. That didn't look super solid.
Yeah, it's hard when you get that far behind to really come back in a big way, especially against a player like Impact, who can get very aggressive. You could see the fake aggression that he made in game 1. Frost, another map where if you can get your overlords into position at least, Nidus is a very fun way to kill the Terran.
I think so. I mean, unless you're a Terran player, then you probably don't think it's very fun. But very creative, especially when it's used in ways that really catch your opponent off guard. So, love to see the creative strats. We've seen quite a few of them, especially the first series of the night was just so wacky between Beyond and Rogue. So, if you want to watch some just strange games, go back and watch that. It'll widen your horizons for sure.
Yeah. It's cool to see Nidus coming back into the meta. I wouldn't say it's meta or anything like that, but it's a nice surprise tactic when every single Terran is going tons of Hellbats and a bunch of Banshees to follow up and stuff like that. Ravens, you know, stuff that's not going to be all so great against a bunch of Roaches, Ravagers, and Queens in your main. And generally the harassment is not going to get into the main, so you can keep it unscouted rather for quite a long time as well.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about what actually is happening here, and I think the biggest deviation to watch for will be, what comes out of the starport. Is it going to be the Banshee follow-up? Because it's still just the standard double Hellion production for JJAKJI. And on the other side for Impact, he's just really big fan of chilling without bunkers being built in front of his natural.
Okay, he's just using those Hellions to defend for now. Pretty fast expand here for Impact, even towards JJAKJI. Not scared to throw that down in the direction of the Terran. Generally, you want to expand away from the Terran and take that base to the right of the main, but instead he's like, okay, I'll take this one that's closer to you and then get a more safe fourth base.
Oh, there's that Ro.4 on the way. You could also just see Impact pull the trigger and go for...
True.
I mean, he's not proxy, but that base is pretty close to where your opponent is. Got to defend against these Hellions here, and that's already 6 drones going down. 7, maybe more. How good is the split? Not very good at all. 10 in total, and more in the main.
Oh, boy. This is one of these moves that just happens from time to time, where it's like... Impact, he wasn't looking for a second, he didn't have his queens in position, and all of a sudden, 2 Hellions die, but 14 drones die.
Whoa, one last shot? No. There will be no survivors.
Yeah.
He gets all the Hellions out of his base, but still 14 drones is a lot to lose.
It's pretty massive. They even supply blocks him for good measure. We got Cloak Banshees on the way, too, as the follow-up, and, well, Impact, he can't even saturate his third base right now.
Ooh, yeah, this is going to be rough for Impact, especially after losing that Overlord as well. Look at his production. He's building 5 Overlords, Valdez. Just really does not want to get supply blocked here. That'll be a little bit of a struggle to resaturate off of that many Overlords, but especially with these Banshees coming in. I mean, this is just going to be devastating damage. That's it. Wow, JJAKJI. Too much damage off the Hellions, and Banshees come in to seal the deal.
JJAKJI's like, oh man, maybe.
Like, wait a second.
If I just make Hellions and kill a bunch of drones...
Does this feel like a win? I think it does.
I mean, that was just kind of crazy. I mean, I know Frost has big map, lots of area that you can't really scout with your Overlord, so he didn't see it coming in. JJAKJI found the good route to get into the natural, and there's a pretty wide ramp to get in there as well. So, seems like, I mean, Impact wasn't ready for it. That's one big thing, but also JJAKJI kind of found the perfect route to get on in there, and that was it. I
mean, sometimes the perfect storm just does exist, and I think if you're wondering why you see Terrans just go double Hellions every game, well, that's why. Every once in a while, you just get, not a free win, but just the optimal usage of those Hellions. So many drones going down. Of course, that's why the Banshee follow-up's pretty popular along with it. It's like you lose 14 drones, and now you have to lose more drones to building Spore Crawlers. I don't think so. So wow, JJAKJI evens up the series, and Impact has got to be a little bit reeling from that loss.
I'd be reeling. That's really frustrating to deal with. I mean, he was even rolling his eyes, but see if he can come back here. Should be the favorite in this one. I'm trying to remember what map number 3 was. I'm trying to do this again. Let's just see. It is going to be Whirlwind.
Going from one big map into another as we fly better fly into our third game of the night. Our purple Zerg player playing for Team Dead Pixels in the bottom right-hand corner is Impact.
Playing for Team Revolution Gaming esports team, it is JJAKJI.
.org.
Yeah, .org.
.gg. Yeah, there we go. All right, yeah, this is another game on a very big map. We'll see if once again JJAKJI is able to get in with those sneaky Hellions. He's going to dump the grease, the oil on them so they can slip through everything. Slide their way on into the main. Wow, just really impressive control there from JJAKJI. And sometimes, yeah, you just have enough. So, you know, we take those, right? You had a chance to move on. And that's why I'm glad that Stage 2 of the SSL Challenge is best of 5. So, hey, you lose a game, still chance to come back.
Yeah. Generally in best of 5s and best of 7, the better player will win. As we saw Sue eventually take out Bunny. I feel like Bunny is really doing quite well nowadays, but I would still rank Sue as a better player. I don't think it's crazy to say that at all. Hasn't been having crazy success, Sue, in SSL. I mean, he did lose one game. It's not like he's undefeated. He's not like the master of Zerg, but
I just want to call this a dormant season for Sue.
Yeah.
Didn't advance very far in GSL. He's not looking super hot in SSL, and
I mean, if Biel, he had a really hard group of Zergs in GSL in the round of 16. I mean, he lost to Dark in a best of 3 at the end for the final round, so it's kind of hard to really punish him for that. He also seems to have trouble in ZVZ, as he did lose 3-0 to Impact.
Yeah, but I mean, all those Zergs that we're talking about are ones that, you know, have been, you know, at the highest of their heights. I mean, I remember watching Impact play when he's on SKT, and, you know, he was never really the defining player of that team. Had moments of brilliance. Came from, like, you know, hiding Zerglings places you wouldn't expect, or getting flanks off. I was like, oh, okay, well, this player has, you know, a little bit extra, but still needs to put in some work to break into the upper echelons. So, still waiting on it. Definitely possible. He's been looking pretty strong lately. See if he can get this Reaper playing with fire, but taking out a couple of Zerglings that you wouldn't expect to see lost.
Yeah, JJAKJI getting the better of that trade and keeps his Reaper alive to scout the third. And, okay, we got... Okay, this is going to be different. I was going to say, he's making double Marine production, so no Hellions right away. It's a Cyclone into a Starport. So probably a drop here, I'd like to say.
Yeah, very, very different style here for JJAKJI. And, of course, for Impact as well, he's going to have to expect something very different. We'll see when he scouts it out. I'm trying to keep an eye on JJAKJI's Overlord placement. And it looks like, just based on where they spawned, it's going to take him a while to get into the main.
Yeah, definitely will. Okay, he's finally going to swap it here. Hellions, so not any weird Cyclone shenanigans as the follow-up, just normalcy, but that one Cyclone is very interesting.
Yeah, and definitely will be unexpected. And I'm guessing it's going to be to push the Overlord out. Of course, you can do that with Marines as well. We'll see how much information Impact is able to get. That is kind of the struggle of the Zerg, the passion of the Zerg. That's what happens. He is trying for it. The Overlord actually making remarkable progress towards the entrance, but here we already have JJAKJI moving out.
He's got that Cyclone. Looks like already a Spine coming up.
Wow, look at Impact this game. He's got a Spine Crawler and 4 Queens already at the front.
Positioning is huge. I mean, it's part of the reason why Impact lost game number 2, right? He didn't have his Queens in position, and with no creep connecting here, Queen's going to take a bit longer, and here come the Hellions.
They are going to be met by Zerglings. Of course, the Queen's in the back to stop the Cyclone drop. Not a sentence I say all that often. And here come back the Hellions, just trying to pick off little bit by little bit.
Yeah, the Lings are enough to delay and buy time for those Hellions to not do damage. That was also part of the reason why JJAKJI could get damage in game number 2, was because there were no Lings to help out in pushing them away.
And this time there's even that Spine Crawler that was just barely finished up as those Hellions were running away. And now with that guarding the front...
second Spine Crawler. Or, that's a Spore.
Yeah.
At the front.
It's just kind of really crossing his eyes and dotting his... Wait, the other way around.
Crossing his thighs and dotting his knees. Yeah, something like that.
That's exactly what I meant, Valdez. Nice save.
Yeah.
Cool.
Don't worry, I got you.
Yeah, you do. Like a good co-caster, Valdez is
State
there.
Farm is there.
Yeah. So, wow, unable to get into the main is Impact, so he won't know quite what's coming his way. The starport was actually hidden on the far side of the base, away from that Overlord, so he'll need to drop the Zerg scan to figure that out, however he wants to get in and see everything.
The Zerg scan is... Wow, that almost died. The Zerg scan is Overlord speed, actually. It's like multiple scans in a row, but it costs gas.
Yeah, we saw Sue go for Overlord speed quite a bit and use it very effectively to get that early scouting information. Impact's still a little bit in the dark, but I think he's more trying to just play his game rather than counter what his opponent's going for. He's been able to just be rock solid against the Hellions this game. Even went for Spore Crawlers and Spine Crawlers to defend everything. And cheeky Overlord creeping it up.
Creepy Overlord this time around. I love the commitment to the creep by Impact over at his third base. He's like, okay, I know you're going Hellions. You're a JJAKJI. You make Hellions. You're a Terran, rather.
Oh, wow. Not controlling them at all. Finally trying to pull him out and will escape with 3, but could have been much, much worse. So Overlord, is that going to die? I think the answer is yes.
Did you have to wait until that last hit?
Well, I actually waited until the pentultimate hit, and then I was a little bit wrong there. I always overestimate how little damage, or underestimate how little damage Cyclones do.
Well, here we go. Coming on in, Impact is ready. Looks like Ravens will be the unit that do more damage.
Oh, sick Marines bombing on the Banelings. Forcing a couple of explosions.
JJAKJI looking for an opening.
Look at it, the upgrade tab is like 1 apiece. You get Zergling Speed, you get Stim. All right, no upgrades allowed. Well, right as I say that, of course, the 1-1 is going to finish for both players. And now we're going to have a few more upgrades. But it did look strange to see so few that early. Oh, man, we're bouncing them out.
The new strategy, bring a Reaper to bounce your stuff closer to the Medivacs so you can pick up.
1 Reaper strat. Well, now the Medivacs are going to boost on in.
Oh, this is going to be big.
Finally find purchase, of course, on the other side. Impact is just going to go for it. Third base should be totally able to be taken out. Ooh, that's going to be dangerous. Several MCVs will fall, but this might just be too much in the main for Impact to defend. He's going to try to come around here. The Queens are picking at the Medivacs, but he lifts up and will boost out again.
Wow, so he almost got that main hatchery. Didn't quite work out.
Oh, no, this could be critical damage. You got to lift those depots on the other side, too.
JJAKJI's finding surprising amounts of damage with this drop. I thought it was going to be cleaned up by the Banelings we saw coming in, but not quite. They've had to run all the way over here. JJAKJI's pickups have been quite nice so far. Oh, almost died.
Only gets out with, I guess, 2 Medivacs full of units and 2 empty ones, so the day has been somewhat saved. Can't forget that JJAKJI did take a lot of economic damage on the other side. He was forced to pull his SCVs, so lost mining time, and then also lost quite a few, so he's down on workers there.
So Muta's coming out here for Impact. We'll see if he can make more of an impact with this unit than Sue did. He's just got a bunch of Lings and Banes over here. As JJAKJI has a very strong push making his way. Look at all the Widow Mines in the back. Keeps all of them alive, ready to go for this main push. The pickup coming in, the Widow Mines getting huge hits.
Oh no! Even another hit on the other side onto the
Mutas. They all died. They all die except one.
That has about 1 HP left on it. Transfused the Mutas. Okay. I guess that's the usage there.
That was the money Widow Mine hits,
wow, that is one way to end a game. I mean, we saw a Bunny commit to lots of Widow Mines, and eventually he did find good hits, but man, they all just hit at the same time. JJAKJI just really impressive way to finish out that game and take another win.
Yeah, Impact's got to be kicking himself, man. He's losing to a guy that's 0-3.
Yeah,
we expected more from Impact Rapid.
To be fair, both of these players have really struggled in SSL this season. I mean, Impact is not much better. He has found that win most recently against Sue, and we're like, oh, wow, hey, that's pretty impressive. But, I mean, JJAKJI is just in a whole nother level, but he's coming back after a little bit of R&R and looking very strong. Great end to the third game to put him 1 win away from picking up his first series victory in Stage 2 of the SSL Challenge.
Yeah, it turns out all you need is a cheeky IV before your matches. And all of a sudden, turn into a monster.
Turn that IV into a GG. That's what he did in Game 3.
I like it.
But now we're going into Game 4. And I'm going to spend the entire series thinking of words that rhyme with that. So let's go ahead and get into our 4th game of the night on Abyssal Reef. The bottom right-hand side in the purple once again. This is Dead Pixels Impact.
And his opponent up in the top left. It is JJAKJI. No SCVs out on the map. After he lost that game, he's like, okay, no more cheesing. Straight up play. And ever since then, the matches have been going well. I mean, Game 2 was kind of, you know, basically a free one, where he got those Hellions into perfect position. Impact wasn't ready, took him out.
Yeah, I mean,
not really a
kind of the same thing in Game 3. I mean, once your Widow Mines kill everything, it's like, okay, well, that's just too much damage.
Yeah.
So, some pretty, I guess, cheeky wins here for JJAKJI. It always seems like the perfect storm just occurs and takes everything out, and Impact is just like, well, okay, man, I guess I just lose. So, if that doesn't happen here in our 4th game, maybe this is Impact's ticket to come back. Still going with that gas pool opener, and on the other side, we're probably still going to see that double Hellion opener from JJAKJI.
Well, remember when we first saw Impact in the booth, he was looking very tired. Yeah. And I feel like he's sunk deeper and deeper into his blue chair.
JJAKJI's got the red-on-red advantage.
JJAKJI looks really awake, ready to go, upright in his chair.
If you're red-green colorblind, then looking at JJAKJI and his chairs just got to look pretty weird. It's basically just like a neck into a tiny black jersey.
Well, if you're colorblind, it's not that you like the colors are invisible to you though. No, it's like they're gray,
yeah,
right?
But the reds all blend together, so you wouldn't be able to distinguish his shoulders from the chair. I think that's how it works. If that's not, then I'm clearly just uninitiated. But
we got to ask Wolf, our friendly colorblind caster. I will forever make fun of him for thinking that Facebook is purple.
That is actually
no. That actually.
colorblind.
Oh, I didn't realize you were talking about. Because that wasn't even the point.
Because he's a wolf and wolves are dogs. And
that's
dogs are colorblind, right?
That's a much funnier joke than the one I was trying to make.
Okay. I just thought.
Well, we'll just pretend I was that smart and funny.
You're so witty and clever. Everybody pog jams in chat. There we go. The Reaper getting its prerequisite kill and then backing on out. Out there to get scouting information and seeing when the third is going to come down. The Queens will have to push the Reaper away, and all is good and right in the world. Okay, Widowmine is coming out.
Yeah, maybe he wants to do another cheeky drop after it did some good damage on Moreland.
If I won a game like game number 3 with all those Widowmine hits, I'd probably build a few the next series myself.
Oh, yeah.
So no question about that. Might even actually find a cheeky Overlord kill. Not quite. Just barely squeaks on top of that promontory.
Oh, yes, of course. The promontory.
Is that what that actually is? I might be misusing that one.
I have no idea. The snipe? Oh, so close.
Close.
But no cigar.
And yet so far.
Ro.4, pretty early. He is building up some gas here. So we'll definitely have to wait and see. I mean, he already does have Overlord speed, so that's one piece in the puzzle of Nidus, right? To make sure that that stays alive, you get Overlord speed. You don't have to get it. There's the lair. Could be the Nidus again.
I love how JJAKJI sends over the medevac just to make sure to get the final revenge on that Overlord. Which, by the way, I think you can call that a promontory. So the promontory is like a high piece of land but it has to be next to water. However, because this is Abyssal Reef, it's all underwater, so it counts.
It's definitely close to water.
It definitely counts. 10 out of 10. That can be our new word of the day, so you guys can look that up and impress your PSAT tutors.
I don't even know how to spell that, man.
Promontory.
Oh, so it's basically just how you would expect it to be.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like Tore or something and be like French or I don't know. Either way, this drop is never giving up. It's never letting you down. Didn't kill any of that creep, though, so it did let me down. Here is an auto turret defense.
Yeah, that actually was about to get pretty scary if that auto turret hadn't come down. But the Zerglings do put on the pressure, and of course that is also designed to keep the Terran off of your side of the map.
Nidus
Get off your yard, and yeah, there it is. And actually, also the scan just barely misses the Nidus as well.
Positioning. He's got this build down to a T.
Yeah, this is really creative, and I wish we saw Zerg players do that more. Actually, with triple bunkers coming down, I'm guessing he sniffed it out.
Well, he sees the Roaches and the Roach Warren, so he's like, okay, maybe he's going for a Roach Ravager bust. But if the Nidus is in the main, those bunkers are going to be worthless.
Right.
But he doesn't. He has that one Overseer behind the natural, but he.
Here we go.
Is he just going to put it in plain sight? I guess so.
Yeah, here we go. It is going to get down. But where? Oh, that Liberator is coming out, so you do need to drop this pretty soon. He's looking for it, and there it goes.
There it is. Okay. Roach is, in the meanwhile, at the front door, just dying.
No, pull him back, pull him back. Whoa, massive value off of that siege tank, but you're about to have everything to deal with in your main.
Those had to have been misrallied. I mean, they were just going in. But here we go. Anyway, the Nidus is going to finish. Tank is going to siege. SCV's off the line.
Queen's barely able to take out that Liberator. That falls, but the tank in the back getting huge value.
Oh, totally wrecked here. He sniffed out something. He
oh my God.
Right away.
Whoa, JJAKJI back from the hospital and looking better than ever. What a surprising win. I mean, I feel like I was surprised when Impact took out Su in the opposite, or in the same way, but for Impact I was like, whoa, wow, Su just died. Now I'm on the other side thinking, JJAKJI just kind of killed him in 3 of the fastest, wackiest games I've ever seen.
And, I mean, I know we've had our experience of, like, young players getting frustrated and GGing early, but, I mean, it's hard, you know. JJAKJI, he totally held it off with flying colors. Also, a lot of Impact's supply was in Roaches and Queens that weren't going to do anything because there were tanks, there were bunkers. You know, he could have played it. I think he should have, but he was in a pretty rough spot.
Yo, also, why are half the Roaches at the front and then not in the main?
He's really frustrated with his own mistakes,
that siege
for sure.
tank was in a perfect spot, too, to hit both the main and the natural, so really great positioning there. So let's talk about the results after our games tonight. Rogue versus Beyond, a very exciting, very unique series, but Beyond, in the end, does take it. Su versus Bunny, really impressive to see Su kind of do exactly what JJAKJI did and pull it out kind of surprisingly there in the end. Bunny very frustrated after that loss. And our final game of the night that you just finished watching, JJAKJI taking a surprising 3-1 victory over Impact to secure his first series win in the SSL.
Yeah, liked the ideas from our Zerg player today, but those are hard builds to really pull off and execute. Shout out to him for trying, but definitely has to be frustrating as that means, well, he's down with the rest of them at 1 and 3.
Should also
a clear divide.
Yeah, we should also point out that for the 3-1 players, Beyond has overtaken Bunny thanks to a barely, like the smallest little smidgen of having lost one less game in achieving his 3 victories. So wow, what a day of SSL Challenge. But keep in mind, SSL Premier comes back on Monday with the semifinals as Classic takes on Dark.
Yeah, it's going to be a really fun best of 7. Definitely recommend checking out 4-Man. That show that Spo TV just put on. Rapid and our global producer helped out with that one between Classic and Dark as they talked about basically their thoughts about StarCraft. Not really their matchup that's coming up, but definitely relevant, I feel, in terms of getting the feel of these two players, the attitudes going in.
And then, of course, the final day of SSL Challenge comes back next week on Saturday. Same SSL time, and It's going to be
Monday, actually.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
wow.
The schedule's a little bit changed up.
Okay. Yeah, so it's not this coming Saturday like it would usually be. It's also not this coming Monday, but it is in fact 2 Mondays from now. I think that's about 8.5 moons.
8.5 moons is like 8.5 months.
Wait, no. Just like risings of the moon, right? Not full moons, right? That's how moons are counted?
8.5 moons? So you mean like...
Nights.
Okay, I see what you mean. All right.
I think
I'll
I got
give it
that
to you.
right.
Okay.
I'm not a master in moon math, guys, so cut me some slack on that one. But I do hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast of the SSL Challenge. Our final broadcast is next week, and we've got plenty of socks and sandals ready to go for that.
I think that means we will have an audience too, because it will be on Monday.
Yeah, it is.
So if you guys are in Seoul and you want to stop by, definitely check on in. I think that's September 18th is that Monday.
You are correct.
Should be a good day.
That's going to do it. This is our all-TVZ day of StarCraft 2, and it's been a doozy. So it's pretty fun games to cast, Valdez.
14 to 15 games. The first 2 series were very fun.
We really went the distance here. I think we've gone 14 out of 15 games like 3 times this season.
I think so.
It has been a remarkable number of games. So SpoTV's getting their money's worth, that's for sure. Well, that is going to do it.
As are you guys.
Oh, that is very true.
Getting all the games.
Lots of hashtag
that you would
value.
have paid $0 for, but now you're getting more games for $0.
If you do want to increase the value you get from watching SSL and, of course, spend a little bit of money, you can subscribe to the SSL channel. You get every single one of our beautiful caster faces along with Wolf's.
Yeah.
And then you also get player icons as well if you want to cheer for the players out there too. So
you could be that fan that cheers for the players so that they play great games. You could be that guy.
That's true. It's an interesting dichotomy, or I'm not sure that's the right word either. But the the players that play well because their fans cheer for them, and then the fans that cheer for the players so that they will play well. So a never-ending cycle there.
It's nice.
How does it work? I don't know, but it's the struggle of gamers everywhere.
Yeah. So I guess that about sums it up, Rapid.
You
got anything else to say?
I think it does. Be good to each other. That's about it.
Spread love throughout the universe.
Yeah.
Don't judge people based on their socks and sandals.
That's very
true.
Good one. All right, so it looks like on the Korean stream, if we can actually switch over to the Korean stream right here. To end today's games, not only are we teaching you how to dance, but we're going to wash the Korean casters' feet. So if you ever think that we are the craziest broadcaster, we're just so unprofessional. Just peep this, right? Wait, is he not going to wash them yet? We're going to wash all of them. We got to move it over.
Don't back down now.
We got to go for it.
Are you serious?
If you ever wonder what's going on upstairs on the Korean broadcast while we are, struggling to fill time,
what?
This is what's going on. Did he just really tease us?
He backed out. He backed out.
Oh my God!
Can't believe it.
All right, guys. Well, we'll be coming back for our final SSL Challenge broadcast on Monday. While we wash our feet on air, have a great morning, afternoon, or night wherever you are. Be cleaning.